it is the only society that when they sing, they say Allah, Allah. When there is a marriage and they bring the bride, they will say, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. They praise the Prophet. And I have seen this so many times. See, I was part of the delegation to solve the cartoon problems that happened with Denmark. So I went there with Amr Khalid and others, and we showed them why we were angry. They didn't understand why we were angry. So in short, what I said to them, listen, we are not angry because you have freedom of speech. We are not against freedom of speech. But we are here to teach you the difference between freedom of speech and freedom of insults. You are free to say anything against our religion, but with respect. You don't draw these dirty cartoons. And we don't do that to all major figures of any religion. It's respect. You have crossed the line. So anyway, alhamdulillah, it was very effective. I went back, and about 2 weeks later, I was in Jordan. So at night, I went to one of the supermarkets. And I noticed there was a young man, about 25 years old, following me. And he was dressed almost like a woman. Gold, earrings. This was a young man, huh? And his shirt was open all the way. So clearly he wasn't a religious person. So he followed me, and I noticed. So I stopped. Said, young man, do you want anything? He said, are you Tareq alSuwaidan? I said, yes. He said, how could you put your hand in the hands of who insulted our Prophet? He was so angry that I went to Denmark and put my hand in their hands. Huh? No one can understand the Muslim world unless they understand how deep religion is in their hearts and how much they respect the scholars. The respect for scholars in the Muslim world is much, much higher than the respect of political leaders. So this can be a negative thing or a positive thing according to the way you use it. But that is, we consider, a strength that can be used for the better of the future of Islam. So that is another area of strength. Another area of strength is that the youth have a dream of leading humanity again. This is general, huh? In Malaysia, in Muslims in the United States, Australia, Senegal, wherever you go. This young Muslim generation has a dream, all of them, because they know our history. And they know that we led humanity in sciences and knowledge. Many people don't know this. There are books that are considered bestsellers. So they are bestsellers, say, for a week or 6 weeks. If they last for a year, that is huge. Many people don't know what is the #1 bestseller in the world for 1,000 years. One book that is the best seller and lasted on the top of the list in the whole world for 1,000 years. Of course, I'm not talking about the Quran or the Bible because they are distributed free. I'm talking about a book that is sold. Does anyone know the book? Huh? the book Al-Qanun for Ibn Sina, Abyssinia. His book lasted 1,000 years as the reference for medicine in the whole world. Many people don't know that the philosophy of Aristotle and Plato was translated into Arabic and was taught mainly by Al-Farabi. And then it was lost in Europe. They lost the books. It was destroyed in the Dark Ages. Nobody could find a copy of their books. Later on, the Europeans took the translation of Al-Farabi and retranslated it into European languages. We saved the philosophy of the West. And I can go on and show you the greatness of our history and how we led humanity. And I will come back to that when I talk a little bit about al-fikr. So, these are some of the weaknesses that we face, and these are some of the what we call core competencies that we have. So this is a quick analysis of the present. Now let me talk about the future. What do we want in the future? We want really mainly two things. The first one is to make the Muslim world the leader of humanity again in all parts of life. That is our ambition. That is the ambition in the hearts of every Muslim, especially the young men and women. And if I ask the young men and women about this, I'm sure there will be almost 100% agreement that this is what we want. This is the future that we're looking for. And we want, the other major thing besides leading is, and this is, by the way, the essence of the goal of Islam. What is the goal of Islam? One goal. What is it? Unfortunately, so many Muslims don't know how to answer this question. And I'm sorry to say, most of our scholars also don't know how to answer this question. What is the number one goal of Islam itself? The number one goal of Islam is the happiness of humanity. Not the happiness of Muslims. It is the happiness of humanity in this life and in the hereafter. That is what we are after. When Muslims took over the world, almost, they never, wallahi, look, yani, major armies taking over the world. I challenge anyone to bring any incident of forcing anyone into Islam. None was forced. And I would challenge another challenge. In the whole conquer, armies moving, I challenge to find something parallel to this in any history. There was no case, none, zero, of rape. And many Muslims even don't know that, yes, Muslims' law is to cut the hand of the thief. But many people don't know that the result of this great law is in the first 600 years of Islam, throughout the Muslim world, all the way from China to Andalusia, 600 years, only 4 hands were cut. People lived safely. You don't have to put 7 locks on your door. I had 7 locks on my door when I was in the United States. And I was robbed. Wallahi. 2.5 million people currently in the prisons of the United States. In the 70s, there was a blackout, electric blackout in New York. And looting happened. Estimation of the loss in one night, $2 billion. It is the estimation, for example, of IRS, which is the agency in charge of collecting taxes in the United States, is percentage of people who avoid paying their taxes by cheating is more than 80%. I can go on and on and on statistics. So, 2 goals. We want to lead the world not because we are lusting for power, but because we believe deeply that we have the system that will make humanity happy. And we challenge that no one else has such a system. And we are not apologetic about it because we know it and we are proud of it. And we have done it before. So that is what we look for in the future of Islam. That is the general things. Now let me go into some of the details. How do we envision our leadership of the world? The current understanding of the new generation of scholars that was not affected by tradition and habits and understanding of certain societies. Because unfortunately, many Muslims and non-Muslims, they understand Islam by what they see in Egypt or Saudi Arabia. This is not Islam. That is Egypt. That is Saudi Arabia. That is not Islam. They don't practice the true and pure Islam. So the current understanding is, in short, the following. We believe that the political system that we would like to seek is a civil state, not theological or religious state. It is very clear. It is a civil state where everyone is free to form any kind of parties. Muslim parties, Christian parties, atheist parties, Jewish parties, Marxist parties. It is open. And people vote and choose whoever they want. And we believe that if you have true free democracy and civil state, Muslims or the Muslim world will choose Islam. We are sure about it. I give you a clear example. Take Egypt, for example. Egypt is the leader of the Arab world, and in many ways the leader of Muslim world. 90 million Muslims in Egypt, 90 million people, 10% Christian. The Islamic movement in Egypt was oppressed since 1954. All their leaders in the prison, it was attacked. Media was making them satans for so many years, 60 years almost. Now, after this revolution, 2011, between 2011 and the coup that happened in July 2013, there were 5 general votes in Egypt. 5. They voted on the parliament, they voted on the constitution, they voted on the presidency.